Alrighty, so good afternoon. It is Coffee and Politics Online with Sydney Walker, and I told you guys that I was going to give you all a series of videos because a 1 hour presentation on all of this information would be too long and boring, and I want to make sure that everyone listens here. Because it's a lot of information. So video 3, part 3 of 30 pieces of silver. So this one we're going to focus in on gambling approvals in Texas. Now, the public has been polled very favorable for gambling. Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick has been a staunch refusal. We're not doing gambling in the state of Texas. Morally is not correct. Woo woo woo. But Sands Casino and Resort has been heavily invested in getting more state House reps and state senators down in Austin that are favorable to gambling and legalizing gambling in the state of Texas. So as it stands currently with our state constitution, we have the Texas Lottery. It is state owned and operated. We do have some tribal casinos, but overall, we do not have any sports betting or casinos that you think of with like Oceans 11, 12, and 13, Vegas style, Shreveport in the state of Louisiana, and also what we see in Oklahoma. So the Adelson family and their businesses have funded the Texas Sands PAC, and it helped to fund 40 incumbents in the House and the Senate in order to win any primary challengers that they may have faced or any challengers for the general election that happens in November. So, but this March primary, anti-gambling candidates actually won. So they were not able to net more candidates to make it down to Austin. So David Lowe, Terry Leo Wilson, Mark D'Orazio, and Andy Harper all won their primaries. These are Republican candidates, House reps, and they all had challengers that was backed by Miriam Adelson. Now, House District 94 had an anti-gambling activist, Cheryl Bean, who overcame the opposition, who was funded through the Texas Sands and Defense PACs, both funded by the billionaire casino resort owners. So, what does this mean for Dallas? Having gambling legalized in Texas, we would pull money from Louisiana and Oklahoma. Those are two states that border that benefit from Texas not having legalized casinos and sports betting. Okay, so let's talk about what that means as far as if you're a casino and resort owner. What does it look like with you making these investments into a state that has not legalized gambling? Okay, so Oklahoma has the most gaming facilities per capita of any state and generates about $3 billion in revenue annually as revenue. Okay. Again, we only have horse tracks, state-owned, operated lottery, and tribal casinos. No sports betting, no traditional casino table gambling. Okay? So everyone who's in North Texas pretty much goes to Oklahoma, Panhandle, if you're near that part of Oklahoma. You cross over the state lines to go gamble in Oklahoma. Now, if you're in the southern part of the state, then you're going to go over to Louisiana, East Texas, Houston, and cross over to do the gambling there. So there is quite a bit of money to be made if you can get gambling legalized here in the state. Now, we do have illegal sports betting. It kind of seems to be the way. So in New York, they make about $10 billion on online sports betting. Projections say that Texas could be right up there with that kind of revenue, but it's hard to validate because you can't really track illegal bets. So James Tellerico, he was a big proponent fighting for schools, fighting for teachers, fighting for retired teachers. And he has been said on social media that he is in favor of legalizing gambling. So, could we possibly end up seeing gambling legalized in the state of Texas? And will we use the same adage that was used for the Texas lottery when it was approved and founded in 1992? This is a great way to help fund our public schools that desperately need money. So let's talk about the Texas lottery. It's given $34 billion for public education, with $2 billion annually going to the Foundation School Fund. Now, that sounds like a lot of money, right? $34 billion, like, yes, let's legalize gambling, because that will definitely give our kids a fighting advantage to being educated. This is since 1992. This is the totality of the proceeds from the Texas State Lottery being given to public education. Annually, our budget for the state of Texas for public schools is $93 billion. So as you can see, that $34 billion is a drop in the bucket when you were talking about annually spending, getting close to $1 trillion annually for our public schools. That includes charter schools, okay? So, and now we have vouchers that will be taking funds away from public schools to private schools. So remember that, tuck that away, because when they're asking you to vote for gambling to be legalized, tell them not to lie to you that it's going to help fund our schools. You're still going to have property taxes going to your ISDs, okay? It's not going to eliminate it. So, again, this is supposed to help bring this influx of cash into our much needed public education system. Now, what exactly does the Foundation School Fund mean? Because that's kind of this nebulous term for an organization that ensures all school districts, regardless of property wealth, receive substantially equal access to similar revenue per student at similar tax effort. So if you live in a low tax rate, they're going to make sure that you have the same funding as another school in the same kind of tax base. It's not Robin Hood. We're not taking from the rich and giving to the poor. It's not Robin Hood. It's just making things equal between school districts that are alike. And if you're a public school finance expert, hit me up. Okay, I'm a lay person. I do not pretend to be an expert on this subject. So if you want to walk through public school financing in the state of Texas, I will be more than happy to have you on the show and walk us through it with visual aids. Okay. Now, with the Foundation School Fund is broken down into two tiers. One is to meet costs of basic education programs. Okay. Nothing frivolous, nothing fantastic, just basic education programs. Number two is where the equal access to the revenue becomes important, and this is only for educational enrichment. Okay, so again, if you're a school finance expert, please reach out to me. I would love to have you on so you can walk us through how school financing works, because this is critically important for people to understand this, since they write checks every year or monthly to pay their property taxes, and that is going to our ISDs. So why is this all important? Because Sydney has brought this up for a particular reason. D Magazine has an article dated yesterday where the Mavs leadership opens up about strategies and the team future for the Mavericks. So my first video that I did with the 30 pieces of silver discussed ultra premium entertainment districts. So let me recap real fast what that means. So for those ultra premium entertainment districts, you need 50 acres, okay? And it will include a convention center, hotels, gambling, a sports arena, housing, and luxury retail. Okay? So the Mavs leaders open up to D Magazine. Make sure that you get this article. It's posted on Coffee and Politics on Facebook, okay? That they need 50 acres to have the entertainment district that they envision and to control the venue outright, which is why the American Airlines Center was never going to work for them. One, it's city owned. Mavs and the Stars pay $1 million to lease it. I'm not sure if that is together or separate. Either way, that's not very much money. Okay. And the Sands Casino and Resort is known for creating these entertainment districts. Okay. And they call them MICE, which is meetings, incentives, conventions, and exhibitions with gambling and luxury leisure. So remember, I talked about, targeting people that make $250,000 to $500,000 a year and want these premium experiences. They're social media worthy to show this is what I'm doing. Okay, so you're going to have your Ritz-Carltons, your very high-end exclusive spas, high-end exclusive personal training, workout facilities. You are going to have your high-end luxury retail, your Bergdorf Goodmans, not just Neiman Marcus, Bergdorf. We're talking Givenchy. We're talking Hermes. We are talking places where you can literally go drop $1,000 and walk out with a shirt. So we're talking about Prada. We are talking Milano Blahnik, Christian Louboutin, exclusive high-end places where most days they don't make sales, because when they do make a sale, it's a very expensive sale that is made. Because if you've ever been to the Hermes store in Holland Park, their racks are not crammed with clothes. It's not Ann Taylor Loft, okay? It's not Limited Express. And not knocking those establishments. I like them. I've always shopped at those places. But Hermes, you're going to go buy a purse for $10,000, $25,000. You're going to go spend a couple of $1,000s on a shirt. Average, regular working people cannot afford this. And even if you fall into that $250,000, $500,000 a year bucket, you have kids, a mortgage, all that kind of stuff, trying to save up for your retirement, you're really, you're going to pick and choose where you're going to spend your money. But it is about targeting those dollar amounts, those income amounts in these entertainment districts. So the Convention Center, the Omni Hotel, City Hall, the Dallas Public Library, The old Reunion Arena area that has not been developed. The Dallas Morning News, old site that Ray Washburn owned and the city of Dallas purchased for a profit for him, so it made him a bigger millionaire. There's your 50 acres. Oh, and the bridge, because there were efforts earlier to move out the bridge. So there's your 50 acres for your exclusive ultra premium entertainment district. So no longer are sports teams being fan focused, because they talked about when Cent was there, Mark Cuban was the owner, primary owner. It was run like a fan owned the team, and now it is a corporation combined with real estate development to maximize the dollars and the entertainment that can be programmed there to be 7 days a week. So makes you kind of wonder if the Omni, Kay Bailey, Hutchins, Dallas Morning News are included in the sale, because this is what they would want to purchase. They would want all of those acres in order to control the venue, control the programming, control the money that is made. In the city of Dallas, we get sales tax revenue. They would not get property taxes because they're going to give them an abatement. So part 4, we're going to go through and we're going to walk through the numbers on all of these properties, because some of them have substantial loans and they're city owned. So we need to look at what that would mean for the city if all of these properties were sold. So make sure you tune in when I go live again.